Chairman Steil, Ranking Member Morelli, and distinguished members of this committee, thank you for the opportunity to testify today regarding efforts by foreign adversaries to undermine American democracy and the confidence we have in our elections. I applaud the committee's focus on this important issue, and I welcome the opportunity to hopefully provide some useful context. China, Russia, and Iran are waging an information war against the United States that includes a focus on the U.S. electoral process. Yet many Americans do not realize we are under attack. This lack of awareness is ideal for Beijing, Moscow, and Tehran. After all, predators like nothing better than hunting slumbering prey. In June, the Foundation for Defense of Democracies published a major report entitled Cognitive Combat: China, Russia, and Iran's Information War Against Americans. Much of my testimony is based on research conducted for that report, as well as the analysis of FDD's Center on Cyber and Technology Innovation, including the excellent work of Max Lesser, a senior analyst on emerging threats, who co-authored our written statement for today's hearing. I define information warfare as the messages and means to convey those messages that nation states use to advance political, economic, and security objectives and to strengthen the government's foundations of power, reinforce those of allies and partners, and undermine those of adversaries. By that definition, based on our research, Americans and our elections are already under attack by China, Russia, and Iran. Our authoritarian adversaries seek to divide Americans, pitting us against one another so that we are as domestically dysfunctional as possible. Our adversaries hope we consume our finite time, energy, and resources fighting one another rather than working together to strengthen our country at home and defend our interests abroad. They also seek to degrade our democracy's reputation. They want our model of representative democracy to look less appealing compared to their authoritarianism and autocracy. And our adversaries also seek to deceive Americans into believing falsely that we have no important interests or values to defend in places such as Taiwan, Ukraine, and Israel. Authoritarian regimes hope to deprive our partners of American diplomatic, economic, and military support, thereby making those partners more vulnerable to aggression. So why do our adversaries focus so much on our elections? Karl von Clausewitz, the 19th century Prussian military theorist, promulgated the concept of a center of gravity. He defined it as, quote, the hub of all power and movement on which everything depends. Clausewitz's center of gravity is sometimes characterized by analysts as the source of power and strength, the point against which all effort should be directed or protected. The American center of gravity is our Constitution and the rule of law, as well as free, fair, and trusted elections and the peaceful transfer of power. That is the foundation for who we are as Americans, and it is a major reason why we enjoy such extraordinary freedom and stability. Our adversaries understand that, and that's why they target our elections. During this election style, Russia sought to undermine Vice President Harris's campaign, and Iran attacked President-elect Donald Trump's campaign. China, for its part, attacked both candidates, in addition to some congressional candidates who are critical of China. In short, both parties were attacked, and all three adversaries sought to undermine the faith of Americans in our electoral process. It is difficult to define with precision the effects of these adversary efforts, but initial research by my colleague Max Lesser suggests that America proved remarkably resilient. In many instances, efforts of federal and state governments, the private sector, and the research community appeared to have thwarted Russian, Iranian, and Chinese efforts to shape voters' preferences and undermine Americans' faith in the fairness and integrity of the democratic process. A Reuters Ipsos poll released several days after the election found that the majority of Americans believed the election was legitimate and accurate. That's the good news, but we should not become complacent. We should expect China, Russia, and Iran to continue to attack our electoral process with increasing ferocity and AI-empowered effectiveness. So what's to be done? In addition to strengthening our electoral defenses at home, the United States should go on the information warfare offensive against China, Russia, and Iran to begin to shift their cost-benefit analysis as they contemplate future attacks on our democracy. Such a campaign could systematically expose each regime's corruption, lies, and oppression, and help the Chinese, Russian, and Iranian people advocate for their own rights, including more representative governance. Such a campaign would seek to ensure that respective populations know the truth regarding each regime's foreign and domestic policies. If Beijing, Moscow, and Tehran don't like having to fend off offensive information warfare operations in their respective countries, perhaps they should stop attacking us. There are more details in a written statement. Thank you for the opportunity to testify here today.